Welcome to Eduzone. The Ministry of Education takes great pleasure in welcoming you to its inaugural broadcast. In this series, you will meet some of the key persons who work in the Ministry of Education. Some of them you see and hear often, others you may not have seen at all. Each person, however, is important as the other in order for the Ministry of Education to run smoothly. Stay tuned as we meet some of these key persons in the Ministry of Education. Welcome.
It is a pleasure for me today to speak with the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Mr. Osmond Petty. Mr. Petty, how long have you been working in the Ministry of Education as Permanent Secretary?
I've been Permanent Secretary since February 2001.
Can you tell me some of your roles and responsibilities?
As Permanent Secretary, I'm the accounting officer for the ministry, responsible for the management of the budget, the preparation of the budget, the management of the expenditures, and also projections for the budget as we move into from one year to the other. I'm also, in a sense, advisor to the Minister of Education on policy matters relating to education in general, and with respect to the administration of schools and the support departments of the Ministry of Education. I assist the Minister in the execution of his responsibilities. I prepare for the Minister's consideration submissions to Cabinet on various matters, and the Ministry is involved in a number of capital projects, and so I liaise with Public Works Department, with the Ministry of Works generally. I'm also the chairperson of major capital projects involving the World Bank and the Caribbean Development Bank, and to some extent the European Union, because we have a project in which we have to liaise with the planning unit, the National Authorizing Officer, the European Union project. We have one which is executed from the Ministry of Education. So generally speaking, my roles include accounting, project management, and policy making, and generally assisting the Minister of Education.
As you go along, do you find many challenges?
Yes, there are challenges. Of course, the major challenge is making the budget work, making the budget, ensuring, that the budget provides the necessary resources that the ministry needs. And I think that really is the major challenge given the government's financial position at this time. And so we have to find innovative ways of obtaining other resources in partnership with the private sector and even regional and international agencies to support our programs. Challenges also include working with schools, working with the teachers union and addressing issues relating to the condition of service of teachers, addressing issues relating to parents, and generally addressing issues relating to the curriculum reform in which we are engaged at the moment, trying to ensure that the delivery of the curriculum takes into consideration the needs of the country at this time. So it's a challenging situation, but for me it's exciting, and we have had many successes even as we address the challenges.
What are some of those successes?
First of all, I can speak to the Education Act 2005, which was a major undertaking and a major landmark for the ministry in recent years, which provides the legal framework for the Ministry of Education We are in the process of drafting regulations. We have done regulations for educational institutions, for immunization, for teachers, for home-based education, and there are a lot of other areas of the Act in which we are working with the legal department to draft legislation. I also did about our successes in getting new programs into our secondary schools. We have linked up with regional institutions such as Hartrust and CXC, and we have introduced occupational skill areas in schools, which is for me very exciting. It's a new thing. Not that we have not been doing TVET before, but this is a new direction in which we are going. And so we have just piloted in our schools the Caribbean Certificate of Secondary Level Competence, and we are now working on Caribbean Vocational Qualifications. These are some areas in which I am particularly pleased and proud to be, in a sense, pioneering these things through the system. We have worked with guidance counselors, and we are trying to strengthen them. We have amended the Education Act to give guidance counselors more prominence in the Education Act, because in the first drafting of the Act they were inadvertently left out, and we have moved to strengthen the guidance counselors. We have established advisory boards to the ministers. There's an education advisory board. There is a TVET council that we have established to assist us in the delivery of technical and vocational education. And we are in the process of establishing a tribunal, an appeal tribunal, to deal with certain matters relating to education, as to ensure that the system is fair and that we treat students and teachers in the right way. Generally speaking, our project management unit, which is involved at this time in the World Bank funded OECS Education Development Project, is something of which I'm proud, because we have shown that education can deliver major capital projects. And the unit we have trained persons, and we have trained a variety of persons in various areas to work along with the unit. The construction of the Sadler School is something which we are proud of, and we expect that this school, once it is finished and running, should be a model for secondary schools in terms of curriculum delivery and in terms of the implementation of some of the new programs in which we are involved. So the successes are many, and I think as a ministry we can be proud of what we have achieved over the last few years.
Are there any new policies?
I'm working on the first draft of what we're going to call a green paper, which outlines some of these initiatives and outlines some of the policies and outlines some of the projections that we have for the ministry for the next 10 years. There are many things which we are thinking of, which I would want to highlight in the green paper. For instance, we have had discussions about what can we do for boys, which is a problem, because there's a feeling and some justification that boys are not achieving as they should. They're not as exciting as they should, and some of the difficulties we have in school relate to boys. And so we want to initiate programs that will address the education of boys and organize after-school program. This is something which is new, and we probably in the next 3 to 5 years we want to pilot this kind of thing, where we look at an organized after-school program for students. And this is being done in some countries with success, and they have claimed that when you have these organized after-school programs, the students' achievement improve, the attitudes improve, and so on. And this is something which to me is very exciting, and